And there's the other one right there. Not much different in size. I think, like I said, this one's a molt smaller. They're doing great. Alright, let's move on to a different genus. Next up we have my old man, a mature male. He's been mature for a while now, so I expect him to die any day now, but he's still kicking. This is the Heterothele villosella, or Heterothele, I've heard it pronounced that way. The Tanzanian chestnut. It's another dwarf species. Very fast. It's old world, of course, but never has thrown up any threat postures or anything like that. But has made tons of webbing, as you can see. But yep, he's still with us. Every time I look in his enclosure, I'm expecting to see a curled up tarantula, but nope, he's still kicking. Alright, let's move on. Here is my Hysterocrates gigas, the Cameroon red. This one's of 3 inches, female. And these spiders like to swim, actually. They're more aquatic than, I don't know of any other tarantulas that are aquatic. Maybe there are some out there. I don't know, but I don't know of any except for this one. These guys can definitely be very defensive and potent venom and all that. Give them deep, damp substrate. And look at that. Made a whole large tunnel all around here. And even on the other side. Yeah, there's the swimming pool. Never caught the tea actually in the swimming pool yet. But it probably gets in there because I've seen evidence of it, but never actually saw it in there before. But I'm wondering if she's going to molt for me. She hadn't yet, so we'll see. Alright, definitely a do not mess with spider. Alright, let's move on to something else. Alright, this is the enclosure of my Idiothele mira, the blue-footed baboon. And these are tarantulas that make trapdoors. Really interesting species. Now the trapdoor's right over here. I'm going to see if I can get it to come out. There. You can see there's the opening. It didn't come out for the last feeding, so maybe it's in pre-molt, so I may not want to bother it. But there's where it hides, and that's what its little burrow looks like. But it's only about half an inch. Actually closer to an inch now, so maybe we'll be getting another molt from this one soon, but I really don't want to disturb it, so we'll just have to wait for feeding to see this one. Alright, let's move on to another one. Here's my Iridopelma hirsutum, the ribbed tree spider. And these New World arboreals are very quick and actually can be quite defensive as well. But they make these cool little tube webs very similarly to the avic. But they're absolutely gorgeous as all get out. I believe this is a male, and he is about 2.5 inches. Very good eater, but can be camera shy. And has spread his chelicerae at me before. Didn't want to be disturbed. But yes, for those of you who've been watching my videos for a while, I have a lot of cute footage of it rim walking the enclosure. Really cute little avic-like walk. But yes, they can leap about, being a tree spider and all. So, very hard to catch when they do escape. There's that one. And that's all I have of those. Alright, let's move on. It's time for the Lasiodora genus. This here is my unsexed Lasiodora klugi, the Bahia scarlet bird eater. This specimen's about 4.5 inches. Haven't had this one for very long. Has a very similar coloration to the Acanthoscurria jacoana, in my opinion. But, yeah. They look, the hairs on the abdomen are a little redder than the parahybana, and they also have fluffier looking hairs all over the body too. But yeah, just like all of the other Lasiodoras, very hair flicky and can be defensive, but also voracious eaters. But there's that one right there. First klugi I've ever owned, so I was very happy to get it. So I'll be interested to see what sex it is when it molts for me, but it looks like it'll probably be a well. So alright, we got, I think, 3 more Lasiodoras left. Let's check them out. She already kicked hairs at me, and I didn't do a single solitary thing to her. All I did was turn the enclosure around. Didn't even get close to her, and she kicked hairs at me. This is my Lasiodora parahybana, the salmon pink bird eater, female. About 5 inches. Got this one when it was only about 1 inch. Very pretty fast growing. Very hair flicky, as you can see. Defensive, can be, but more likely to kick hairs. And eats like crazy. So, and of course these guys get to be humongous, just like your Theraphosis. So, yep, here's my girl. I've had her for a while. She's doing great. Let's check out my others. And here is what a sling looks like of a Lasiodora parahybana. And this one had molted. And I knew it because it didn't want to eat last time. So, very good. This one's very runny, and has a great appetite though. But so glad to see this one molted successfully. So we're going to give it a drink, and this one I guess is about 1.5 inches. But yeah, that's what a spider or a sling looks like of the Lasiodora parahybana. Not much to look at right now, but that's kind of the case for most slings. Alright, we'll move on to my other one. And here's my other Lasiodora parahybana, the salmon pink bird eater. And this one's about the same size as the last one, about 5 inches. Don't know the gender on this one yet. It's fairly new to me. Hadn't molted for me yet. Hasn't really eaten much yet either. But it's obviously not in pre-molt. But hope it's doing okay, but it's still alive. Doing fine from what I could see. Yeah. Another hair kicker. You gonna turn around and say hello? Very cool. Alright, that's all of the Lasiodoras I have. And let's see what's next on the agenda. Next up, we're going to do the Nhandu genus. This is the Nhandu coloratovillosus, the Brazilian black and white. This is a female, around 7 years old or so. This one is about 5.5 inches, something like that. But very skittish. Usually likes to just stand on top of its cave rather than inside it. Seems to like crickets, but not a huge fan of worms. But yeah. And of course my battery died, and she had to make a liar out of me. and she decided she didn't like the light anymore, and actually went into her cave. So apparently when light shines on her, that's when she uses her cave. Unless there's food present, then she'll willingly eat. Alright, let's move on to another one. And here's my other Nhandu coloratovillosus, the Brazilian black and white. This specimen here is about 4 inches, 4.5, something like that. Very, very, very skittish. And one of them, I forgot which one, is quite defensive. I don't remember whether it was this one or the other one that looks just like it. But there's that one. Another beauty. Nhandus are really cool. Now I'll show you the other one. And here's the other one, about the same size as the last one, Nhandu coloratovillosus. So yeah, like 4.5 inches. These guys are unsexed. I haven't had them for too long, so hopefully we'll get a good molt out of them. But as you can see, that one's got a ways to go before it molts. But yep, very hair flicky, as you can see, and beautiful. Alright, let's go on to a different species. Next up, we have the Nhandu carapoensis, the Brazilian red. And this one has been an incredibly slow grower for me. Seemed like forever. It was stuck at 2 inches. I got it when it was just about an inch. And now it's about 3.5 inches. But ever since it molted last, it's been actually a very good eater. Before then, it was kind of hit or miss. This is a male, but very nice looking, especially once the pinkish hairs start to show on the body, pinkish reddish hairs, and they already are. But ever since it molted last, it really does look like it's supposed to with its adult coloration. So we're going to top off the water dish, and we'll move on to my last Nhandu. Here's my Nhandu chromatus, the white-striped bird eater. Doing awesome. Very fast grower. She's actually quite defensive, very runny, very hair flicky, and very has actually thrown up several threat postures at me. She's female, she's about 5 inches, 4.5, 5 inches. So yeah, she's just crazy, let me tell you. But she's behaving for the moment. I was afraid that as soon as I was going to move her enclosure that she was going to just scamper off into her hide, which she does use quite a bit. But yeah, very beautiful. Crazy eaters. Just overall crazy tarantula. One of my favorites. Alright. You just can't beat that. So beautiful. Alright, that's all of the Nhandus. Let's see what's next. Here's one I'm not so sure we're going to see. This is the lair of my Orphnaecus species blue, the Panay Island. And this one is another one that seems to only like to come out when it's nighttime. And let's see. It likes to cocoon itself in webbing. Let's see if we can go Orphnaecus hunting. Let's see. Yeah, I think I found where it would be. It's cocooned itself in the webbing there between the two flowers. I'm not going to dig it out. But, yeah, that's another one we just not going to really see. Hardly at all. But yeah, rather than use its hide, it decided to use those flowers there instead. Oh well, as long as it's happy. Alright, let's move on. Oh, by the way, that one is about a 2.5 inch specimen and unsexed. And here is my Pelinobius muticus, the king baboon. 2 inches, no, 2.5 inches. Suspect male. Have it in deep substrate. And of course it's, you see it there, but, well, oh yeah, there's the other part right there. It goes down to its little tunnel and goes around like that up there. And then it came up here to say hello. Well, now it's going to go hide again, of course, as soon as I try to get a good look at it. But anyway, very slow growing, but it's worth the wait. Nasty customers when messed with, but really cool to own. The largest of the baboons. Nasty temperament, and they also stridulate when they get aggravated. And I think I even heard this one do it, even as small as it is. Alright, let's move on to a different one. Okay, time to do the Poecilotheria genus. This here is the Poecilotheria ornata, the fringed ornamental. These guys, if you want a large pokey, get you an ornamental. Ornata, excuse me. The Poecilotheria ornata, they get up to be about 9 to 10 inches, folks. Insanely large. But this particular specimen here is about 2 inches. Unsexed. But, yep. There's a better view. Can't wait till they grow up. And they are monsters. These guys would rather run and hide than bite. But you definitely need to respect these guys because their venom is very potent. And they will bite if they feel threatened enough. Yep, Poecilotheria ornata, the fringed ornamental. Okay, let's see what other pokies I have. I have 2 of these. This is my Poecilotheria regalis, the Indian ornamental. This specimen is 1.5 inches. Cute as all get out. I think this one is due for a molt. I have a juvenile as well. It'd be nice if this one turned out to be a female because I think my juvie's a male. So, you see these guys quite a bit in the hobby. It's not really showing up yet, but as it gets older it's going to have kind of a tan looking stripe that goes on the underside of the abdomen. That's how you tell regalis apart easily from the others. So there's that one. Let's take a look at the juvenile while we're on the topic of the regalis. And here's my juvenile, Poecilotheria regalis, Indian ornamental. This one's about 3 inches. Male, I believe. Not 100% sure, but it looked male to me when I looked at what was left of the molt. Let's get to look at that underside there. You can barely see the stripe. But this one's also due for a molt. So you can see the yellow on the underside of the legs there is not as vibrant as it normally is. Abdomen's dark and swollen. So I really hope we can get a good molt, and I'll be able to know for sure. But pokies are really known for trashing their molts, I'll tell you what. But yes, doing fabulous. Let's move on to a different pokey. This one always likes to hang out on the underside of the lid, which makes it difficult to remove it and put it back on. This is the Poecilotheria vittatta, the ghost ornamental. These guys do not have the yellow warning legs, instead they're white. Hence the word ghost. But this is 1.5 inches long. Another one I'd like to see molt, but may have a little more time on this one. But doing awesome. And let's see, how many more pokies do I have left? I think I have 2 left. Let's check them out.